Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another live show. Hope you're doing well. Hope your dogs are doing well as well. If you are having issue with your dog's behavioral situation, don't worry. I'm here to help you. Uh, Feel free to ask your questions in the chat area. Sorry, I forgot to turn off my phone. Um, If you have any questions, leave the questions in the chat area. I'm going to read them and answer all your questions. If you are new here, my name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. In this channel, we focus on training dogs without the use of treats, aversive tools, force, food, domination, and we focus on training dogs on using play and praise reward system, which is very natural and very effective way of training dogs. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the subscribe button there to get subscribed to the channel, and hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video or if I go live. Also, if you're going to ask your questions, make sure to tell me a little bit more about your dog. Mention your dog's age, name as well, if possible. Name, age, sex, breed, and the issue that you're having with your dog. Um, Before we get started, also, I wanted to kind of talk about a few things. Um, One was that many dog owners, they ask, my dog is doing this, my dog is doing that, what do I do? My main answer is that the main reason dogs, they do misbehave or they show unwanted behaviors, the main reason is stress and anxiety and confusion. It can cause dogs to develop behaviors or repeat certain behaviors. Now, why is it that dogs get stressed and anxiety? They have anxiety is because they are not sure what they're supposed to do. So I'm gonna share the screen here, and I'm gonna share some information. If you are familiar with my channel and with what I teach in this channel, let me just bring in. There we go. I think that's better. If you're familiar with my channel, you may know that I preach this all the time. I talk about this all the time. Um, if you want your dog to be healthy and happy and well behaved, you have to provide your dog's daily 5 essential needs. These essential needs will help your dog to be less anxious and less stressed, and therefore be more clear on what you want, what their expectation is, and how they're supposed to live, and how good or bad their quality of life is going to be also determined. So dogs overall, they have different needs than humans do. Humans have different kinds of needs. Humans need cars, coffee machines. uh, they need money. Humans need a lot of stuff in order to be happy. On the other hand, dogs, animals, they don't live like humans do, and their needs are different as well. And also, when they have certain needs that are not being provided, they start suffering. They start having a hard time adjusting and living with humans, especially when it comes to living with humans. And as you know, dogs live with humans itself can be confusing and can develop the anxiety, because humans and animals are different animals. um, Humans are the ones who bring the dog in the house and our homes, and we um, want them to live with us. So that itself, not a animal living with another animal, it's stressful. um, so we need to understand this part, that we're bringing a dog to our lives, and that is going to automatically stress our dogs. So how do we reduce the stress level? Is by providing our dogs daily five essential needs, and you have to provide them in this order. You can do it differently, and they are exercise, training, socialization, care, and then affection. uh, Exercise is first thing that in the morning, basically they get up in the morning, or first thing during the day, has to be um, exercise. That is like physical stimulation. I call that physical stimulation. The next thing is training. Training is basically mental stimulation. Your dog needs some form of training. Beside that is mental stimulation. Training is also a way of communication between the human and dog. So your dog doesn't have a language that you can communicate to it. So in order for it to be able to communicate to you, you need to develop a language, and that language is basically training, right? Next thing is socialization. You need to socialize your dog. Your dog is a very social animal. It needs to be socializing. The next thing is care. You need to provide a good care for your dog so your dog is healthy and happy. And the last thing your dog needs is affection. Affection is something that most dog owners focus on most. My dog wants to come and hang out with me. Affection is something that most dog owners focus on overall during the day. Maybe the affection and care. So we want to make sure that our dogs are, yes, well taken care of with affection and care, but they are also being provided by good form of socialization, a good routine of training, and good amount of exercise. So if you focus on these, then you will be able to, uh, in a way, provide a good, healthy life for your dog, which is going to reduce the stress. And once the dog is has less stress, then it's going to be behaving less badly as well. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for you. We'll talk about this throughout the show today. I think I'll bring that up a lot more. Um, put this on it. Is in the house. Thank you for being in here. By the way, let me know where you guys are watching the show from as well. Very curious to know which part of the world are you watching the show at the moment, and for us also to figure out the perfect timing for the show as well. We have a question from Morton. Do you have a recommendation for a therapy for training a therapy dog? And you have a follow up. What are your tips for training dogs without treats? And how do you calm dog anxiety when I leave the house? All right, let's start with first. um, I'm having my morning coffee. So, do you have recommendation for training a therapy dog? Uh, in in my opinion, overall, when you are training therapy, your focus is on training therapy dogs is that you have to understand that therapy dogs are different types of dogs. They still have to be registered and trained properly, and you have to make sure that the process of itself of training a dog for certain task has been gone through properly. um, Therapy dogs, you have to understand what is that the task that you want your dog to focus on. What is the reason why you want to train your dog to be a therapy dog, and has to be trained accordingly. um, Also, therapy dogs are certainly bred and selected for that task, and not any dog can become a therapy dog. There are certain organizations, and there are certain breeders who breed therapy dogs, for example, or working, certain breeds of dogs, certain types of dogs, certain energy that you need to have. So, first of all, you have to have the right dog. That's what I mean. You have to have the right breed, the right dog in order for it to be able to train it. You can't, for example, if you have a dog who is, let's say, Mal- border collie, and this border collie is uh, kind of bred for, let's say, herding, you can't teach this herding breed of dog to be therapy dog. That dog has to have the drive. That dog has to have the knowledge, the concept, kind of in, in it. It has to have that drive in it in order to be a therapy dog. So you have the training has to be there in according to the breed and the the dog itself. So the dog has to have some foundation of the drive and the breed in it before it can become a therapy dog. So training a therapy dog, it starts also from the beginning. You start with obedience, puppy training, and then obedience. All the obedience levels has to be trained to this dog. Um, ideally, ideally, in the perfect world, that's how you're gonna do it. You're gonna focus on puppy training, good puppy training classes that the puppy has learned all the little things that it needs to learn. Uh, then you start the obedience, all the obedience level, and then you start focusing on exactly what you want your dog to learn in order to become a therapy dog. Um, I know a vet who has a therapy dog, uh, kind of a service dog. They become a service dog, which is basically this dog provides comfort and relaxation for this human, for this person. So this dog really didn't have major training done, uh, didn't have any major form of uh, gone to through organization that has selected this dog to become a therapy dog. The dog the vet simply selected the dog because liked the the temperament of the dog, liked the energy of the dog, and that dog in a way provides comfort to this human. So therefore, this dog is labeled as therapy dog. Um, so therefore, in that case, that's how you deal with a therapy dog. Um, you could do it that way. You could do it also the proper way of depending on what type of therapy you want to provide for yourself or for others. Um, your second question is what are your tips for training dogs without treats? I don't recommend teaching dogs or training dogs using treats. That's because it's just not logical to use treats to train dogs without treats. Hold on, just give me a second. Sorry about that. Okay, training dogs without treats is very good idea. You want to focus on that, and you want to make sure that you not use treats to train a dog, because what it does, it confuses the dog. It makes the dog to be dependent on treats and food, and also it makes you to depend on treats and food. So therefore, what I suggest you to do is not to use treats. And training dogs without treats is the most easy, most simplest, and most healthier, healthier and the most effective form of training dogs. When you train dogs without treats, you have to realize that you want to reward a dog instead of treats, and that reward is something that the dog must like. In general, in my opinion, dogs like two things: play and praise. If you play with your dog, that is the best reward for your dog, because you're interacting with your dog. And when you interact with a dog, the dog learns faster, learns better. Praise as well. When you're praising your dog, you're interacting with your dog. And therefore, your dog loves that as well and responds to that. And therefore, you get great results. All of my dogs have been trained without the use of treats, and I have had a good, solid results with them without me using treats. And I have always suggested dog owners to not to use treats to train their dogs, because um, when you use treats, the dog is responding also to the treat. It's focused on the treat rather than focused on the task, whatever task you're trying to teach your dog. So my tips for training without treats is you use play and praise. You play with your dog, you praise your dog, be in the moment. Many dog owners are not in the moment. They want results right away. If you want results, quick results, you use treats, but it doesn't have a long lasting uh, results. But if you want long lasting results, you invest time and energy and effort now, and don't use treats to get great results. Uh, you just have to be in the moment. You just have to play. You have to praise your dog. You have to dedicate 15 minutes, 20 minutes of your day uh, to your dog, and just focus on your dog. Be with your dog. Every family member should be having that opportunity to be with their dogs, focused, and just have fun. Just enjoy training your dog. And how do you calm a dog anxiety when I leave the house? That is something that you have to work on your dog. Um, that is something, again, comes from training. Um, let me see if I can share with you the. So let me show you first this. I'm going to show you something. So you should be seeing the, hearing the audio as well.
Stay there while your
So you're going to start with teaching stay first. A dog has to learn and understand exactly what you want. So when you're leaving a dog home alone, the reason they get stressed and they develop anxiety and cause a lot of problems and maybe even destroy the house is because they're confused. They don't know what you want. So I suggest to start training your dog. Um, First train your dog few commands so your dog knows how to communicate with you, knows how to talk, understand you, what you're saying, um, and then teach them what you want. You want them to wait for you, right? When you are, hold on, let me see if I can fix this. You want to teach them the wait command or stay command first, and then teach them the wait command. That way, your dog has the ability to know exactly what you want, and will wait for you instead of getting stressed and anxious and not knowing what is supposed to do when you leave the house. So you want to make sure that your dog knows exactly what you want, and then provide that. For some reason, the videos are not being played back. Let me see what's going on. Okay, it should be okay now.
moves, you want to make sure that they go back to that position that they were originally asked, which was sit and stay. And if they move,
So you start with
yes
a
or no.
sit and stay.
So that would be your
Your first step should be to teach your dog the sit and stay. So your dog has to understand exactly what you want. You want your dog that this is step one of the dog learning what stay is. Stay means don't move a muscle, pay attention to me, start learning that I am telling you what to do and how to do things, right? And once the dog learns that, then you start teaching it the wait command. Let me see if I can show you the wait command. Last time that I was doing live, we had an audio problem, and this week we are having playback problem. For some reason, the videos are not being played back. I think I'm using too much of internet. My internet is slowing down. Let me see if it's going to play now. It should play.
one more thing. And I'm going to go behind the door and I'm going to wait 10 seconds. So the way you're going to count it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 seconds. Go back. And hopefully your dog is going to be waiting there. Good boy. Praise your dog for waiting for 10 seconds. And then restart it again. Go for 20 seconds. So here we go again. So let me try it one more time. So Josh, sit. Josh, wait. We're going to go behind the door again.
So I'm teaching him to wait for me.
Just realize that we are just breaking it down to smaller pieces at the moment, and then we're going to break it down to longer times. So that's been 20 seconds. Now, if you have noticed, good boy, Josh, good boy. Now, if you have noticed on the wait command, even though I told Josh to sit and stay and wait then, we don't mind them moving around. On the wait command, they're allowed to move around. They don't need to just stick in one spot. So one more time, I'll do it with Josh. So I'm going to say, Josh, sit. And I'm going to say, Josh, wait. So it's different than stay, right? So now they're getting used to the word wait, but they see that we're doing the same thing that we used to do with the stay, but the word has changed now. So they're going to get used to waiting for you. So go behind the door again. This time we're going for 30 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm just quickly counting and going. So now you can see that he was moving around, but he was in waiting mode, right?
So that's basically how you teach a dog. You know, the video is on my channel, anyways. You can go ahead and watch it, both lessons as well. Basically, you have to teach a dog to stay first, the foundation, and then you build on that with wait command, which is you put them in a room or somewhere and you disappear, and you come back in 10 seconds and you disappear, you come back in 20 seconds, you disappear, it's 30 seconds, and on and on until your dog learns, oh, it's been 2 minutes now and my human is behind the door, is gone, but I know it's going to come back. And you practice this until you get to an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and on, to the point that the dog now knows that, oh, my human is going to come back. So that's how you teach a dog to be able to tolerate when you're leaving the house. Most dog owners, when they leave their dog home alone, is they just say, stay, oh, go, and they quickly run out of the door and leave the house. The dog says, what happened? They're unclear of what's going on, so they panic and they start having that anxiety. But if you do it properly, if you teach your dog what you want and how to do it, they will be more prepared of tolerating the situation and the condition that you're putting them in. I hope this information helped you so far. Let's go to next question, which is God's word. Help! I have a 8-week-old puppy that growls aggressively almost every time I pick her up. How can I break her of this? When you have an 8 weeks old and puppy and it's growling, is telling me that it was picked up too early for the purpose of living with humans. There are certain puppies and puppy breeders that are not ready. There are certain puppy breeders that they notice, okay, it's not the right time to let this puppy go. Still needs to live with its siblings and with its mom or parents. Um, Ideally, puppies should be let go of at 12 weeks, 12 weeks and under. 8 used to be the week that most breeders would give away their puppies, but we've noticed that when you let go of the puppy too early, behaviors like this are starting to develop. And what it tells us is basically that the puppy needs to have that um, siblings to have that assurance that they're in good place, safe place. Unfortunately, when dog owners they bring a puppy to their home, they don't realize that the puppy is traumatized, right? Because it has been separated from its parents to the new environment, humans, and therefore it gets traumatized. It panics. It feels unsafe. So what it tells me also that your puppy is not feeling safe being around you, and that is very normal. That is something that you have to start working on it and building that relationship, building that momentum between you and your puppy, that your puppy starts to feel more comfortable and more relaxed and more um, secure with you. That's all it's telling you. Your puppy is not being aggressive, it's just telling you how it feels. Most dog owners read these behaviors wrongly. They feel that their puppy or their dog is being aggressive, and they mistreat them. Basically, all I have to say to you is, first of all, your puppy is not feeling secure and safe, and is communicating that to you. That is telling you that it's not feeling that yet, not feeling secure yet, and it's just communicating to you. It's not telling you. Uh, it's not aggressive. It's not being aggressive. It's just the way dogs communicate, and that's normal. Uh, it's 8 weeks old. It's very young. It's trying to figure out where he is or what is happening to its life. Right? It's been separated from its parents. And God's word is from North California. Welcome here. Thank you for being here. I hope you are enjoying the show. And I'm not sure how the weather is in California. I'm sure it's pretty nice and decent, not cold like here. It's Mackenzie's question time. Um, Thank you for being here, Mackenzie. I believe you're Mackenzie. Um, how do I properly use slip lead to train my beagle not to pull while on walk? I just have my concerns that I may be hurting you. Slip lead, when I'm assuming you have a beagle puppy. If you feel that uh, you're putting too much tension on the neck and your beagle is pulling and all that, first of all, I would suggest to use harness instead of collar. That will reduce the tension that you're putting on the chest, on the neck, and you're going to be transferring that to the 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 bigger area of the chest, and the chest can reduce the tension on the body itself. And one of the tips that I have when it comes to um, reducing and improving the walk on a leash is, let me share with you a video. I'm going to share a video that you can see what I mean.
For example, you want to go for a walk? You want to go for a walk? Huh? Let's go.
So first of all, don't do that. When you want to go for a walk, don't do that. Don't get excited and don't excite your
Go for a walk. Don't do that. First of all, okay, don't get excited to go for a walk, because when you excite a dog, you're already preparing yourself to fail for the walk. Don't get your dog excited either. So Annie, come. So what you're going to ask your dog to do before the walk is to pay attention to you, to listen to you, and that is basically asking the dog to sit. Annie, sit. Annie, stay. So you're going to ask your dog to sit and stay. And when they sit and stay, then you're going to put the leash on. This is very important. You want to make sure that your dog is nice and calm before you put the leash on. So you can either put the leash on and then go for a walk, or you can put the leash on and you can remove the leash and just practice this exercise itself, which is just sitting and being calm and putting the leash on and putting the leash off. That's your exercise for time being. Whatever you start doing now, it will get easier and much more controllable in few days. But you have to start somewhere. So you start today, you start with this exercise, which is asking your dog to sit and stay, put the leash on, put the leash, remove the leash off.
So if you practice this exercise itself before you go for a walk and make sure that the leash is nice and loose, that will reduce the tension on the walk itself.
We're taking our time to go for a walk. Okay, so we're not even on the walk yet. I see some of you are using harness. Some of you may be using different type of gadgets. Some of you may be using a collar or anything. The idea here is not to depend on the tool. The tool is not the solution. The tool is there to help you just to have your dog on a leash. That's all it is. Whether it's collar or harness, it doesn't really matter what it is. Your goal here is to have control over your dog with or without the leash. When you put the leash on, does your dog take off? Does it start moving? That's the goal of the exercise here. As I said, the first day is going to be the hardest because your dog is going to be all over the place. Second day is going to be a little bit better. Third day is going to be much easier. So we haven't even opened the door yet. We're not going out for a walk. We're just practicing calmness. Now, if I open the door and we're going for a walk, my goal is to have my dog on a loose leash. If you're walking like this, that's no. Your goal is to have your dog on a loose leash. Loose leash. That's what you want to go for a walk. Right? And I know you're saying, well, you're not outside. Your dog is trained. Your dog listens to you. Well, first of all, that's what you can get if you work and train your dog. This is what you're going to get. Second of all, my dog is not perfect either. There is no perfect dog. Our goal is to create that perfection, right? I'm always also striving to get that perfection that I want. Now, when I'm going for a walk, I don't let my dog to go ahead of me. I want my dog to always walk beside me. That's what I want. I want my dog to walk beside me. If your dog is going ahead of you and is running forward and is going forward, don't go for the walk. Take your time to stop, bring your dog back, and say no. Make sure that you go forward together. That's very important. That is the most important part of the walk. Many dog owners, they say, oh, my dog on the walk is reacting and doing this and that. That is because you have gone for a walk without preparing your dog in the beginning. This is not something that you're, first of all, going to be doing for years to come. This is for now. You're practicing, right?
So I hope that makes sense. I hope that gives you an idea. So for now, I would suggest, yes, for now, just put on a harness to go for a walk, but have this mindset that you have to prepare your beagle before going out, so it doesn't learn to pull the leash, right? Pulling on the walk, when your beagle is pulling on the leash on the walk, that is, first of all, a clue to you that is not ready to be on the walk yet, on the leash. So you have to prepare it back home, in the backyard or in front of your door. Don't go for a walk. Practice calmness. Practice that loose leash with your beagle before you go for a walk. Going for a walk itself, when you're on the walk, let me show you another video. Let me see if I can find it. This might be it. I'll show you another video.
dogs or expecting our dogs to be right by our side all the time, that's a big ask, and there's actually a lot of pressure on the physical body. The dog's skeletal system is, as a canine, yes, if they're off on a hunt, they may kind of do that heel work if they're off on a hunt, because there's kind of this information of how, almost like how I see it as a flock of birds. When they're on a hunt and they're that aligned and that tight knitted together, they're moving like a flock of birds. But if they're roaming, exercising, having freedom, like if you watch canines move naturally, if you watch street dogs, even just your own dog, as humans, we tend to walk in a straight line. That's how we are made as our skeletal system. Dogs naturally are seekers, are foragers, are searchers. They're supposed to move and meander like a river, not in a straight line. So that movement for me is then what freedom are we giving our dogs to move?
So the first clue of having a dog who's pulling on the leash is that your dog is a seeker and explorer. So when you block a dog who's a seeker and explorer, and force it to walk like this, you're going to be causing a lot of physical, mental issues. First in your dog, and also in you, right? You're forcing yourself to get the dog to walk like this, which is not natural. So a seeker and explorer type of dog needs to have that option of seeking and exploring. So the best thing is to loosen up the leash and let the dog just walk.
So that's a quick tip there, right? I'm not going to go in details much anymore. But basically, yes, you want to prepare your beagle to be at home. Second of all, when you're on the walk itself, understand that your dog, your beagle, has to have that option of properly walking on the leash, on the loose leash. I suggest to start with a long leash. It helps. It helps the dog to have that choice of roaming and exploring, and without pulling on the leash. That itself, it will reduce the tension on the leash itself. So it's a matter of all preparing. First of all, preparing the mindset and not depending on tools and gadgets in order to solve this problem. Preparing the dog to understand that this is what we want. We want you to walk on a loose leash. If you pull on the leash, we go nowhere. If you pull on the leash, bad things happens, which is we don't go on a walk, we stay home, nothing happens. But if you don't pull on the leash, I'm going to reward you with a loose leash, long loose leash that you can go and explore. But also, when you're doing the long loose leash with your dog as well, you want to make sure that you have some control over your beagle. Beagles tend to be a little bit more independent when it comes to their walks. They tend to focus a lot on the nose. Their mind gets blurred when scents and smells are attracting their nose, so they forget and they don't listen to anything. They're just focused on the scent. So you want to make sure that you control that as well. So there lots to do, but it's doable. I hope that makes sense, Mackenzie. Let's go to the next question. Is G Diddley. I have an 8-year-old male sharp basset hound. He's aggressive towards other dogs. He's bitten 3 dogs. He's also snapped at a kid that didn't know personal space and wasn't mine, I think, and was in mine. He's muzzle trained. So this is a good point that you're bringing. The problem is when you have like especially basset hound. They're pretty good dogs, and for them, in order to be aggressive, it's Now, doesn't have to be Basset, doesn't have to be anything like that, but if it's aggressive towards other dogs and is biting other dogs and is biting and is snapping at the kids, that's a clear sign to me that your Basset is yeah, there is a follow up to yeah, that's what I'm gonna explain. How do you help him to be less aggressive and not bite dogs? So when a dog is being aggressive and bites and it's behaving that way, it's a clear sign to me that your dog is very stressed. um, I started the live session today by talking about what is the main reason that dogs develop bad unwanted behaviors. Is number one reason is stress and anxiety is 99.9% main cause of unwanted behaviors in dogs. And what can cause stress in dogs? There are many reasons that can cause stress in a dog, but in general, when you don't provide a dog's daily five essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection properly, that will cause the dog to become anxious and stressed. If you exercise your dog too much or too little, that can cause stress. And also, these essential needs need to be provided for your dogs on daily basis, and it has to be provided in this order. Many dog owners say, well, I exercise my dog, but what they do, they share affection at the wrong time as well, the wrong state of mind. They don't socialize. So in your case, for example, in your Bassett's case, uh, definitely your Basset is lacking social skills. So it doesn't know how to properly um, socialize with other dogs. That's because your Basset is stressed. Okay. Uh, and you haven't trained your Basset properly either. So let's dig a little bit deeper. So when you want to have a good dog who's not biting and is not misbehaving, you have to provide your dog's daily five essential needs, right? And those daily five essential needs are exercise, training, socialization, care, and then affection. It has to be done in this order. If you are exercising your beagle too much or too little, that can cause stress in your dog. If you're not training your dog, if you're physically exercise is the physical stimulation, training is mental stimulation. If you're not stimulating your Basset mentally, that can cause stress in your Basset. Because your dog doesn't have a good uh, training and good exercise routine, proper amount of exercise, proper routine of training and exercise, it has become stressed and therefore is snapping on other dogs, is telling you that I'm stressed. I'm very stressed and anxious. And I'm going to take advantage of the dogs to express my emotions, express my feelings. So your Basset can I have a sit down and have a chat with you and tell you this is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling very stressed and anxiety because you're not doing this or you're not providing me this and that. So therefore, it has to communicate to you. It has been communicating to you for a while. It's been telling you that it's stressed and anxious, but for some reason, probably you didn't listen or didn't hear or didn't notice. So your Basset got to the point, said, you know what, I'm going to show them how I feel. So at least they can understand how I feel. So physically your basset is showing you by attacking dogs, right? And that is clear signal to you, and should be a clear signal to you, that your dog is very stressed and anxious and is taking on other dogs to give you the clue. So many dogs, they will develop different forms of expression, different ways of expressing their emotions and feelings when they are stressed and anxious. And your basset has chosen this method, is very being very clear to you that is very anxious and stressed. And you may be providing the best care for your basset, and also you're sharing probably too much affection, too much. You're spoiling your dog too much, right? uh, and probably you're, I'm not sure the routine, but I'm guessing you're not providing enough exercise, you're not training your big basset at all. You're probably punishing it or getting angry when your dog is misbehaving with other dogs, and you punish it and you say no and stop it and all that. You consider that training. That's not training. And when your dog is aggressive and is being naughty, that's the time, that's the only time that you are kind of communicating to your dog, which is the wrong time to communicate. And then you're providing good care probably, and you're sharing affection at the wrong time, with that mindset that the dog is not supposed to be shared affection. So if you want to address this behavior, you have to work on deeper level. It's not something that you have to do one thing and it's going to fix everything. You have to go in deeper level. So most dog trainers, if you hire a dog trainer or if you start working with a dog trainer, they're going to rush you to get results right away, and they're not going to address the inner problem, deeper problem. They're going to teach you how to deal with it surfacely, quickly. And that is the wrong way of approaching behavioral modification of a dog who's aggressive and it's snapping on kids and others. Uh, you have to work with a dog trainer who's willing to work with you for a long term, give you ideas and exercises, and change most of the things and improve everything as explained here, and hopefully you will get results. And speaking of getting results and training, I have a program which is called Perfect Dog Plan. It's a perfect program for you, I believe. I'm not sure. I have to get to know you a little bit better. If you want to address your dog's behavioral issues and your basset, you want it to live a healthier and better life and not to be reactive, not promising the moons and the stars. I'm not saying that it's going to be fixed within a few weeks or not. It's going to take some time. This damage has been done. We have to fix it. We have to work on it. In order for me to learn if I'm going to be able to help you, you can visit my website, sarodogtraining.com. There's a button there. It says book a free call. You can book a free call with me, which when you press on this, it will take you to a calendar that will show you the days and the times that I'm available for you to book a time that we can have a video call where I can see, talk to you, and get a little bit more information to see if I can help you with your issues that you're having. And if I can't help you, that's it. No commitments needed. But if you're the one that I can help you and you're willing to work with me, then you'll be invited to my program, which is a program that I have worked with all kinds of breeds and dogs. It's a very successful online program, ideal for puppies, adult dogs, and dogs with behavioral issues. the difference of this program is that you're going to be learning how to train your dog without the use of treats. It's a lifetime access to the program. It never expires. You get weekly coaching calls with me privately. We have monthly workshops as well. And if there are video lessons that you can go and learn on your own speed, but there are also one-on-one coaching as well, which I work on you. Um, you get lifetime support and unique method of dog training that never, it doesn't exist. As such a program doesn't exist on the internet or anywhere. This is a very unique program. Is if any one of you is interested, just go to sarodogtraining.com and learn more, or book a free call with me, and I will try my best to see if I can help you with my program. Let's go to the next question, which is, we have Gene Tarwater. He's one of our members. Greeting from Chicagoland. Thank you for being here, Gene. God's word says, thank you for advice. You're welcome. Let's go to Gene. Greeting from Chicago. Very interesting. Thank you for being here. And I hope you're doing a fantastic day and the fantastic weather as well. I don't know how the weather is there. This side, in this part of the world, it's very cold. It's not snowing or anything, but it's very cold. Any tips for keeping my 16-month-old beagle safe from coyotes at night? I don't have a fenced yard and have to walk her. I formerly had Goldens and wasn't too worried. Well, if you don't have a fenced yard, I would suggest, taking it on leash, first of all. Make sure that your timing is the right timing is the key here. What I mean by that is make sure that most of the exercises, physical, emotional, mental exercises has been done during the day, and your beagle has done its business, pees and poos mostly during the day. So at night it's just a quick pee for quick pee. That's all, right? You're not focused on walking your beagle at night so it can do its business. You can train your beagle, you can train your dog to do its business during the day. What basically is you maybe change the time that you're feeding your dog a little bit. Uh, Figure out what time is the best time for your beagle to be fed, so it does its business during the day, during the light of the day. So at night it's just a quick pee outside and come back home, right? Like we do that too. My dogs, they do most of their business during the day, and after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, where it gets darker sooner, even though we have a backyard that is fenced, right? I still go and monitor them. I make sure that you never know, an animal, a wild animal can be in our yard as well. We live in a rural area that there are many wild animals. So I still go and monitor them, and it's just a quick pee and come back. Just quick pee and come back, right? From, let's say, 6 o'clock after, when it's darker, we probably will send 3-4 times until we sleep. We quickly go for a pee and come back. It's not for them to go and sniff around. It's not for them to go to do numero dos, right? It's just to go and do a quick pee and come back. You know what I mean? So you can kind of teach them, change the expectations, and you don't have to be present with this idea that, oh, I have to walk my dog at night. In general, I don't suggest walking at night either, because at night, not only because of the safety and security of the surroundings and all that, but overall, nighttime is a time, or evening nighttime is a time for them to relax. It's not time to go for a walk. The the this is one of the things that I also suggest dog owners. The exercise should be done, first thing I always suggest exercise. Physical and mental stimulation should be done early in the day, during the day, early in the morning or during the day, so the dog is nice and relaxed in the evening, right? um, my dogs, for example, um, during the day they're busy, especially Annie, right? She's very busy during the day. She's doing things, going, playing and doing things, and very busy. But as soon as dinner is served, um, she gets to that zone that is time to relax, and she goes in bed. She hangs out in her bed, in the beds that we have everywhere in the house. We're watching TV, they're lying down by, not by us, and they're just chilling, and or whatever we're doing, they're just chilling around us. And around 8 o'clock or so, she walks into her crate and goes and sleeps there. But I have to wake her up a few times before we go to sleep. I send her out to a good quick pee and come back. So that's what you should focus on. It's doable, it's possible. You don't have to limit yourself that you have to walk your dog at night. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for being here, by the way. Um, Mitai, how to help my beagle on fixation toward other dogs while on the walk? Thank you, Sarah. Um, so this would be our last question that I'm going to answer for the day, and I hope everybody can benefit from this question as well. When a dog is fixated toward other dogs, there are two things that are happening. Your dog is either, your beagle is either wants to go and play with them or wants to go and kill them, right? Uh, so whichever it is, whether your dog wants to go and play or kill them, whichever it is, you have to understand your dog has to learn that you can't do any of those unless you are calm and relaxed. Whether you want, this is something that I always teach my students, and it's a good opportunity to explain this part as well. No matter what your dog's purpose is, that I want to go or play with them or interact with them, or I want to go and harm them or do something to them, no matter what the reason is, your dog has to say, I'm not going to get there until my leash is loose. You're going to have to teach that to your dog, that you can't get to those what you want unless you're calm and relaxed. Let me see if I can show you a video that kind of demonstrates that idea. I have a video. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can find it. It's a good question, and also it's a problem that many dog owners they deal with. So I'd like to show you a good explanation here. I just have to find the video. Okay, I think I found it. Just give me a minute. We'll set it up and we go from there. Share screen. You should be able to hear the audio as well. So this is the different version, but what I want you to practice is when you're saying that, you know, my dog is reactive to other dogs and goes towards other dogs and things like that. What I want you to focus on is provide something that your beagle really likes and practice this active exercise with your beagle.
If I stay, sausage, whatever it, so I have to make sure that she doesn't break the command no matter what happens. Your dog must have or is committed to something. You have to be so committed to it that it's going to break all the rules. You have to bring that in the picture. And
so you find something that is really, you know that your beagle, for example, is going to be really reactive to it, whether it's toy, food, whatever it is, right? You bring that and you do this exercise with
practice it with your dog. So again, I'm going to practice this with Annie. So Annie, sit, stay. So my command has to be really clear and to the point. So Annie, stay. Very good. She's not moving a muscle. She's looking at it.
So the reason I'm doing this is I'm preparing my dog for outside, right? So you have to create this environment, this exercise at home where you can control it. And I'm using toys. That toy represents dogs. That toy represents squirrels. That toy represents all the distractions that are outside. If I can control my dog in the house, in the controlled environment, how can I control my dog outside? So that's why I'm practicing this exercise here.
There we go. If I can control this now, that ball represents guests. If I can control my dog now, good luck to me when the guests come home. So this is where I have to bulletproof the sit and stay to the point that she doesn't move. Okay, go get it. All right.
So this is an example for, you know, controlling your dog when the guests are coming and dog is jumping on people and all that. But you can use the same exercise for, you know, outside. That ball represents dogs.
All right. Okay, so I'm rewarding her because she didn't move a muscle, but I still have a little bit of more work to do. So what I'm going to do, you can do on or off leash if you want, and practice this with your dog. Okay, whatever works. Sit, stay. Make sure the command is given nice and clearly. Stay. She moved, right? So what I'm going to do, if she moves, what I'm going to do, Annie, no. Nope. I'm going to give her a verbal correction. Nope. Still have to make it a little bit more bulletproof. Sit. Stay. Nope. 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 That's amazing. That's I don't have any words for it. You know, for practicing it for 5 minutes now, she's doing really good.
Good girl, go get it. Okay. So basically, that's what you have to do. You have to create a situation, an environment, and and practice this with your dog. If you can't control your beagle at house, in the house, that you have almost complete control of your dog, then how you want to control it outside? So practice it indoors, practice it with whatever you can. Prepare for your beagle for outdoors. Go one step at a time. Don't put your dog or your beagle outside in a situation and then try to deal with it, try to train it, try to fix it. That's too late. Most of the behaviors, in my opinion, when you're trying to fix them at the moment that is happening, it's not going to happen. It's not going to, your dog is not going to learn. Your dog is not going to benefit from that moment, that situation. It's going to stress more. It's going to stress your beagle even more with when you're training your dog at the wrong time. When your dog is misbehaving, when your beagle is misbehaving, as pulling on the leash and is excited to go towards other dogs and is fixated, that's not the time to train your dog. That time, your beagle's mind is focused on that activity. It's not going to be focusing on your training. It's not going to be focusing on your correction. It's not going to be focusing on whatever you do. You just have to simply turn around, come back, and practice it at home. Practice it at home so you have some form of foundation built with your beagle. Your beagle has some idea what you're supposed to do, what is supposed to do when the real thing happens. Then you can say, oh, we have practiced this at home. My beagle should know at least what I'm saying at this moment when the real thing happens, real situation happens. Then you can expect your dog to give you or respond to you or give you the feedback that you want. I hope that makes sense. It's Mackenzie says, thank you for the tips. Appreciate it very much. You are very welcome. Jean is saying, thank you, Saro. You are welcome. And Go Diddly Dang says, thank you. Thanks for the advice. Unfortunately, he lives with my parents and not me. Can I screen record your answer and send it to them? I've been trying to convince them to get a dog trainer. Yeah, that's unfortunate that I thought it was with you, but if that is happening and your dog is living with your parents have to take the initiative to take care of the situation. This is a live recording, live session. It would be on my channel. You don't have to screen share it, screen record it. It's available on my channel on the live section. You can send them the link of this video and they can watch it. You're welcome to screen record it too as well. But yeah, I understand it's the problem again. If when you hire a dog trainer, the problem is that the dog trainer, when people pay the dog trainer, they want results right away, and the trainer has to give you results right away because you paid right away and you want to get results soon. And that puts a lot of pressure on the dog trainer, also on the dog owners and the dog too, to get results, which is not realistic. When a dog is reactive to that level, that is biting and being aggressive towards other dogs, unfortunately, quick solutions won't fix the problem. This is something that has to be worked on for a few months, many months. It depends. Also, I can't guarantee that in a few months everything is going to be fixed and done. Depends how deep the damage is, how bad it is, and all that. So good luck with that. I hope I was able at least to give you some information that you can start working on that issue. Thank you very much, everybody. I had a fun time being here and helping you with your dog-related issues and answering your questions. If you enjoyed this show, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well. Subscribe button is right here. Hit the bell icon and turn on the notification so you will get notified as soon as I post my next video or if I go live. Please share this video with other dog lovers like you. And until next time, have fun with your dog.